Good morning, everyone. So I got the SK here. I'm gonna go pick up some plywood here, and we're gonna get started on this landscape job. Gosh dang it. So I got the machine here, and I need to pull off these pieces of plywood because, you know, as you can tell right here, I started walking in the yard and it is soupy. In the meantime, I gotta be able to get the machines from here to there. Just like that, all the plywood's down, and get started on getting the dirt out of here. Man, those pins are wore out on this thing. Enough of these plywoods, so I'm having to make do with what we have and get the machine over there, and all that stuff is entangled with, you know, roots of grass and all that kind of stuff, so it'll be a little easier to dig it out with the machine and scoop it out with that and put it in there. So Dad went off to go get some more plywood, and you know, it's good to have all this stuff just for stuff like this. There he is now. 3 sheets of it looks like. Call us lazy, but you know, we're just trying to get it done a little faster. Folks, got the machines all locked up for the night and gonna come back tomorrow. So we're actually gonna go rent a grapple bucket for that deal, take all this stuff to the dump, and then haul out some of this dirt and haul some fresh dirt in. So basically this is just the soil that was just from the final grade. It wasn't any topsoil or nothing. That came up really nice. It was, you know, it's definitely worth it to haul in some extra machines and get it done that much faster, because, you know, that would have taken us probably 2 hours to hand dig. And it literally took us maybe 5 minutes to dig up with this machine. Just like that, day one is finished over here. I got to go talk to one of my clients about his final grade and then pick up a deposit from him. Here's a little walkthrough of this grading job. So as you can see, you know, there's quite a bit of a dip right there, and you know, hillside and all that. So the builder only did the final grade up to here, and the homeowner's wanting the whole thing final graded so he can put a fence in and then eventually put a shop. So here's what I'm working with. Anyway, this will be a good grading project, and you know, I plan to get started on Wednesday. So hopefully, you know, we get done with that landscape job and can get started on this. Started day 2. Got this grapple. Start loading all this junk in here. A little tippy. As you guys saw, we got that stuff loaded up in the dump trailer, and I'm about to haul it off to the landfill. And before we do that, I'm gonna go back to my house and grab some grass clippings and stuff, like a lot of bags that I've collected from spring cleanups and all that kind of stuff, because this dump that we go to is volume based and not tonnage based. So basically they charge you a minimum of 4 yards. So I only have about 3 yards of material right now. You know, make the most of it while I can. Well, just pulled up here at the landfill, just waiting in line to get on the scale. It's always just a waiting game here. I'll tell you what, there's a lot of really slick trucks that pull through here. So, like that one right there, you know, it's pretty slick. I just got done with the scale. Oh my gosh, this freaking road and truck and trailer just rides like freaking crap. Longest I've ever seen the line getting out of here. Hey, look at that. That's a brand new Duramax right there. Brand spanking new. That's a lot of slick dualies. All these roofers. Hey, look at that. Another brand spanking new truck. So one complaint I have about this truck right here, you know, it doesn't have the best ride ever. You know, real stiff springs, and leafs in the front, leafs in the back, and it just, you know, beats you to death. But that's not too bad most of the time. But when you're driving out like this, it definitely lets you know. Hey, look at that. You know, that truck over there has forces on it. It's crazy. Mega Cab Cummins, that steel body over there with the forces. This one right here, this Platinum, and I want to get me one of these days. Look at that steel body right there. That thing is clean. Brand new Power Stroke. See, you know, sometimes it just makes me, you know, wonder, you know, when you're buying a used diesel truck, I wonder how many of those are, you know, seeing stuff like this every day. You know, a lot of these guys are using their truck every single day and really, really hard on them. So, and you know, those roofing guys, they're here every day, multiple times a day, and they overload those things so bad. And you know, we try not to overload our stuff, you know, as bad, but it happens from time to time. Yeah, it just makes you wonder how much stuff they're breaking, because you know, that guy in that steel body he was ripping through there, and that, obviously it rides better than this old log wagon right here. But one of these days I'll get something newer like that. But man, I'm just, I'm content with, fixing cheap crap right now. Well, I just pulled up here to get some topsoil. Being right here next to the stockyards, I get a lot of organic materials. Better like that. Got it all tarped. It's not really the right size tarp for this trailer, but it'll work. So those of you guys with flatbeds, do you ever have to, do some crazy crap to fill up your truck? So the way the hose and stuff is ran, as you can see there, it doesn't want to flow. So we had to sit here and baby it and hold the handle the whole time. So this makes it where you don't have to do that. Got plywood set up there. I'm gonna dump this and try to keep it clean and without scratching all this. So new soil there, old soil there. Get all this stuff hauled out of here so we can put the fresh stuff in and berm it up and get it looking real nice. Today was a pretty productive day, so I'm pretty happy with how much we've gotten done. So we got all the dirt off the road, and I'm gonna go dump this dirt right here, and then we're gonna go get another load of it tomorrow and finish out the sculpting of the bed, and then be able to do the edging. And then after that, we'll start putting the plants in. So it's gonna change here pretty quick. Well, day 3 of this little landscape, and I'm off to go get some more dirt. I'm just stuck in traffic. It is what it is. Back here getting another load of this stuff. He's getting me loaded down pretty good. So tomorrow we'll have to put the rest of the edging in all the way down here, mulch it, pick up this plywood, and get out of here. This just absolutely beautiful. I love the way it turned out. What's great about landscaping is no two jobs are the same. You know, we don't use Mexican beach pebbles too often, but they already had those and we didn't want to, you know, get rid of it. So we figured might as well incorporate it into our landscape. It added a lot of detail to it. So I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Well, I'd say this one turned out really nice. So those Mexican beach pebbles, you know, make it look really nice, and all this stuff in here, and it's all flowering out. It's looking good. It's awesome to be able to be creative and curate all these plants and make people's houses look nice.